The only thing I ever feel that A'ja Wilson did wrong was knowing that she had a shoe and continuing to push the narrative that she was being fucked over by Nike, which started the whole hate train towards Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. Because let's be real, that hate train was not there until the Nike deal. To an extent, but like it got really bad. It got really, really bad. And to be fair, like Caitlin Clark got taunted, then came out and said, like she got taunted, came out and defended Angel Reese, and they still...
The WNBA is in meltdown mode, and it all started with one ad. Caitlin Clark's Nike spot drops, and within hours, A'ja Wilson's response lights a match under the league. Fans clash, bias allegations trend, and the narrative spins out of control. But this isn't just about an ad. What's really going on behind the scenes might change how you see everything.
It came out on Christmas Day. Let me start by saying, I already started, but let me say this. I have heard some people out there say things like, Caitlin Clark doesn't have the motion she used to have. Caitlin Clark isn't really that much of an attraction to people anymore. Just different things like that. And every time I've heard that, I just kind of shake my head because I'm thinking, I don't notice.
The WNBA is in complete chaos right now, and it all started with one ad no one expected to blow up like this. Caitlin Clark's latest Nike masterpiece drops online, and within hours, A'ja Wilson's response sends shockwaves through the league. Fans instantly split, accusations of bias start trending, and the conversation takes a sharp left turn. But what's really behind her reaction? Stick around because this situation runs much deeper than it appears, and the truth might surprise you.
So if y'all don't know, A'ja Wilson has announced that her shoe will be released in May this year. And there was a clip that came out during her celebration that she kind of knew about this for the past 2 years, and it's been causing a ruckus. Now I had to go back and do my due diligence and find out where the issue started, right? And why a lot of people are so mad at A'ja Wilson. Now this is around the time it was announced that Caitlin Clark was getting her signature shoe, right?
Nike did not wake up one morning and accidentally hit the wrong button in its creative department. Yet that's exactly how this situation looks when you line everything up and view it without the brand-polished glasses.
Caitlin Clark closing out the year on the New Heights podcast with Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce gives us some insight, some information on what the holdup could have been for Caitlin Clark's signature shoe to come out. She's talking about a specific new technology that they are implementing in the shoe.
On one side, there's a commercial that looks like it was storyboarded on a whiteboard, revised a dozen times, debated in meetings with catered lunches, and treated like a once-in-a-generation moment. On the other, there's a commercial that feels like someone said, "We need something by Friday. Grab a song people already know, tweak the lyrics, and let's all pretend this was the plan."
Phenomenal. It was just, I gotta say, I guess I owe...
This is where things get uncomfortable because no matter how many times people insist it isn't personal, it absolutely feels personal when you put the two ads side by side. One is practically begging to be remembered, while the other politely asks to be forgotten by next Tuesday.
2024, Caitlin Clark's rookie season helped the WNBA hit milestone TV and attendance figures, but Clark's emergence created a toxic, racially divisive narrative that she was almost single-handedly responsible for salvaging a league's foundation when built by mostly black player base. First of all, Caitlin Clark is 90% of the reason why the WNBA is even in a question for a lockout right now. Caitlin Clark is the only reason why these players are making $1 million a year. Let's be completely honest. Like, if you guys saw their viewers this year, Caitlin Clark games on ESPN had 3 times the viewers of
A'ja Wilson's Nike moment arrives with all the energy of a substitute teacher wheeling in a TV and pressing play on a VHS labeled motivational content. The concept leans on a nursery rhyme every human learned before they could tie their shoes, swaps out a few words, and assumes nostalgia will do the heavy lifting. The result is functional in the same way microwave leftovers are technically dinner. It exists. It fills the slot. No one can accuse it of being illegal, but no one's telling their friends to rush over and experience it either. Then Caitlin Clark's commercial shows up and immediately acts like it owns the place. The people matter. The jokes land because they're rooted in reality, not slapped on like decorative stickers.
If you was to walk in the Nike store today and it said AJ on there, I'm guessing you would have named a lot of other athletes before you got to A'ja Wilson. Okay? Or AW, however she gonna market that shoe, You ain't gonna know that it's A'ja Wilson's shoe. I'm sorry. And like I said, I love her game. I really do. But Caitlyn different.
The difference
Watching
in
the
effort is not subtle, and Nike knows it. They don't spend millions of dollars and accidentally stumble into symbolism. Dropping Clark's campaign on Christmas Day, exactly 40 years after Michael Jordan's first iconic holiday commercial, is not a coincidence, unless Nike's marketing team suddenly forgot how calendars work. That date is a neon sign. This isn't just another athlete with a deal. This is an athlete they believe can define an entire era. And here's where the narrative gets tricky. A'ja Wilson isn't some random role player who wandered into a sponsorship by accident. She's decorated, dominant, respected, and she has the trophies to prove it. MVPs, league accolades, the kind of attention that sells jerseys, fills arenas, hijacks sports debates, and turns casual viewers into invested fans. Nike isn't in the business of feelings or fairness. They're not nostalgic for yesterday's rankings. They follow momentum, and right now, Clark has enough momentum to knock over the furniture.
All surprised, we were all excited, we were all thankful when Christmas Day, Nike unveils Caitlin Clark's newest commercial, the most original commercial that they have had in recent memory. Of all the past commercials they've dropped over the last 5 to 10 years, this Caitlin Clark From Anywhere campaign seems to be the most creative that Nike has been throughout that time span. However,
Watching Clark's commercial feels like witnessing a production crew descend on a quiet neighborhood and completely shatter the illusion of normal. One moment, someone is watering their lawn. The next, there are Nike vans, lighting rigs, cameras, and recognizable faces everywhere. This isn't casual effort. It's a full-scale production requiring planning, permits, coordination, and the belief that whatever comes out of it must justify the investment. Nobody shuts down a residential block because they're feeling lazy or indifferent. Meanwhile, Wilson's ad could have been filmed in an afternoon without inconveniencing a single neighbor or setting off a single group chat. That contrast isn't accidental. It's deliberate, and it sends a message, intentionally or not. The cameos in Clark's ad aren't there to flaunt celebrity access. They reinforce authenticity. These are people connected to her journey, her media presence, and her public identity, which makes the entire production feel cohesive rather than chaotic.
I'm going to start with a statement. A'ja Wilson is insecure. Now, there will be people who will hear that statement and will say, you got to be kidding. A'ja Wilson is the most confident person you've ever met. She lets you know what she can do, what she has done, what she's been a part of building, on and on and on. No way is she insecure.
Wilson's commercial, by comparison, feels disconnected from any larger narrative. There's no line that sticks, no concept that lingers, and no hook that invites sharing or replication. When it ends, it simply ends, and the viewer moves on without feeling like they missed anything important. This isn't a failure of talent, it's a failure of creative ambition. This is where the idea of bias enters the conversation. When two athletes under the same brand receive vastly different levels of creative investment, it's impossible not to question why. From Nike's perspective, the answer is simple. Clark drives engagement on a scale that forces their hand. Wilson, despite her accomplishments, does not currently command the same gravitational pull. Nike invests where it expects return, and right now the projections are loud and clear. Being labeled the best player doesn't automatically make someone the centerpiece of marketing strategy, and that distinction can sting, especially when it's visible on a global stage. An MVP title does not guarantee the Michael Jordan treatment. This moment makes that reality painfully obvious.